Hello everyone, welcome to English Valley Cafe. My name is Anne. Today in this video, I'm going to be sharing some very useful tips on how to improve your pronunciation and intonation. If you've watched the videos from the past couple of weeks, you know that I am answering questions from the English Valley Cafe community. And so today, this is one of the questions that I got. And as a matter of fact, this question is something that I get a lot, and so I hope this video will also help you. So today we're going to be talking about 8 very useful tips to help you improve your English pronunciation. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. First tip I have is to be aware. So when you are pronouncing a word, there are so much that's going on around here. You're working your muscles here. The way you sound a word, you're working with your tongue, the positioning of your tongue, also the shape of your mouth, and how you are producing the sound. Are you making vibrations here in your vocal cords? Or, are you forcing the air out? So these are really important to know when you are saying a word, when you're pronouncing a word. One way that you can do this is to get a mirror and look in the mirror as you're saying the word and see how you are positioning your tongue, shaping your mouth, and how you're producing this the sound. And this will help you to improve your pronunciation. The second tip is understanding stress. Now, here we're talking about word stress and sentence stress. So, as you know, in a word, there are certain syllables that we stress. So, for example, 15 and 50. 15, 50. I remember one time I had a student that told me, oh, my son is 15 years old, 15 years old. And I wasn't sure if he was saying 15 or 50. So this is a good example of word stress. 15. Notice here that I'm stressing the second syllable, teen, 15, versus 50, 50. So in 50, I'm stressing the first syllable, 50, 50. So this is very important to help you pronunciate, to help you say words more clearly, is understanding word stress. Also, in sentences, we have stress on different words. And typically, when we are saying a sentence, we will stress the content words. So that means that the important words in a sentence. So for example, like a noun or a verb, adjective, these are the important words in a sentence, and typically we will stress those words. And I'm going to talk about just a very general idea here. Later on in other videos, I will go into more detail, more in depth of word stress or sentence stress. But the idea here is that in a sentence, we stress the content words. Okay, so for example, let's take the sentence, I love this white cup. I love this white cup. Notice here that I am stressing the word love and white. Okay, so these are the words that I'm stressing because they're the content words, the meaning that I want to make sure the other person hears. So I love this white cup. Okay, so understanding sentence stress is also important to help you with your pronunciation. The next tip is intonation. Now, I will make a separate video going in depth and talking a little bit more about intonation. But here, I just want to mention that intonation is an important part of pronunciation to improve your pronunciation. Now, as you know in English, we have the rising pitch, we have falling pitch, and then we have like a neutral pitch. And it depends on what we want to say. It depends on our emotions, our attitudes. The pitch is different. So for example, if I typically if we ask a question, we will have a rising pitch. So if I say, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you want to go? My pitch is going up at the end when I'm asking a question. Another example is when I'm saying a word. For example, if I say, okay, okay, that means I'm responding maybe to somebody asking a question. Okay. If I say, okay, my tone or my pitch is going up, and that shows a different kind of meaning, like, okay, I'm trying to get the other person to respond or to confirm a question that I asked. Okay. And then if I say, okay, okay, maybe I'm showing that I'm a little bit annoyed or I'm impatient. Okay. So this is the importance of intonation when you are speaking. And also, of course, in English, it's kind of like when we're speaking English, we are singing. So there's that rising and falling. So when somebody is speaking, they're not speaking at a flat tone. And that's not how English is, right? It's like a music. There's a melody to speaking English. So this is very important to understand if you want to improve your pronunciation. But like I said, I will make a separate video going more in depth and talking about intonation and how you can improve your intonation. But here, the main thing is to know that intonation is important if you want to improve your pronunciation. Oh, one more thing that I should add is if you are an advanced learner, you might want to practice and focus a little bit more on the reduction and also linking. So reduction is, you'll notice that a lot of the sounds are reduced. A lot of the sounds that we speak are using the schwa sounds. Okay, so reduction and linking, like connecting words. For example, I want to, it becomes I wanna. This is also very important if you want to improve your pronunciation. The fourth tip is to do drills and exercise. And this is really good if you are having trouble with a particular sound. So let's say you're struggling with the S sound. So what you can do is maybe do a tongue twister exercise. So for example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, and this is a good way to help you just to focus on that particular sound that you're having trouble with, that you're struggling with. Another example, let's say you're having trouble with the vowel sounds. So take some minimal pairs and practice. For example, man and men, bite and bet. Okay, so doing these kind of exercise and focusing on that particular sound or vowels or consonants that you're having trouble with, this will help you with improving your pronunciation. Fifth tip that I have is to practice pronunciation not with single words but with phrases. And this is really important because when you practice a single word, you know how to say that word. But oftentimes when that word is put into a sentence, the sound, the pronunciation is completely different. Okay, so for example, if let's say you're trying to learn how to say the word thought, okay, so you practice that word by itself, thought, thought, thought. But after that, try to put that word into a sentence and try to say that word in the whole entire sentence. So I thought about going to the gym today, and trying to say that whole phrase and to practice the pronunciation. And that way, when you are actually speaking, when you're carrying on a conversation, that will help you to say the word in the entire sentence. Tip number 6 is something that I know you've heard of, and that is imitating native speakers. And this is really effective if you want to improve your pronunciation and to sound more natural. So what you can do is take a video or a podcast and do some shadowing exercise. So pick somebody that you just love the way they speak English. It's like music to your ears. You can understand them easily, and you want to just speak the way they speak. So take a video or an audio. I think it would be best if it's a video, because then you can watch how they are speaking, like the shape of their lips and positioning of their tongues and etc. And copy them, imitate exactly the way they talk. So for example, let's say you're imitating me and I'm saying let's go out, so you're going to say it exactly the same time as I'm saying this. Let's go out, let's go out. Okay, so copy everything, even their expressions, the way they talk, like where they're raising the pitch and where they're dropping the pitch, everything exactly the way they say it. So let's go out, let's go out. Okay, so this is a really good way when you're imitating or shadowing somebody to improve your pronunciation. The next tip number 7, is to record and listen to yourself and compare. Okay, this is something that I think is really important, because oftentimes when we are speaking, we don't really hear ourselves. So, like for example, like I'm making this video right now, but a lot of times I go back and watch my videos and I don't even realize that, oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying in the video. Like I don't realize it as I'm talking or as I'm filming the video. So same thing, I think this applies to when you want to practice your pronunciation. Sometimes you might be repeating a word or saying something that's completely wrong, but you don't detect it. You don't notice it when you are speaking. But if you record yourself and then go back and listen to your recording, you might catch something that you didn't even notice when you were speaking. So I think one thing that would be really good, this is a really good practice, is to maybe take like a podcast of some kind of conversation, or just somebody, reading out loud a paragraph, and listen to them. And then after that, try to record it yourself, okay? And record yourself saying the exact same dialogue or the exact same paragraph. And then record yourself, and then after that, play it back and see if you can hear the difference between your own recording and original audio. So this is a good way to compare, how you're pronouncing words versus how that native speaker, how that person is pronouncing the word. So record and compare. The 8th tip, and this is super valuable. If you can invest some money in finding a native English speaker, coach or a teacher who can help you and give you feedback on pronunciation. I cannot think of anything that's more valuable than getting, feedback, advice and tips from a professional English teacher. Or if you can't, if that's not something that's an option, you can find a native speaker that who is willing to give you some feedback on your pronunciation. This is a really good way to help you improve. All right, the last two I'm going to give you is kind of like a bonus tip. One of them is really fun. It's very effective to improve your pronunciation. The other one, and I don't think it's that fun myself, but for some people it might be really fun to learn it, and it will really improve your pronunciation. All right, so I'm going to give you the fun one first, and that is singing. And singing is a great way to practice your pronunciation. So try to pick songs, artists that you like, and songs that are easy to follow, that you understand what they are saying, and try to sing along with them. Some of the recommendations that I have is the Beatles. Beatles is a really good one to help you to with the pronunciation, because their music, they're easy to follow and it's slow. The other one that I really like is Josh Gorban. His songs are really uplifting, very inspirational, and it's a good one that I've used in the classroom and with my students, and they love it. So Josh Gorban is another artist. I'll leave all their names down in the description if you want to check it out. And the other one is Michael Bublé. I think his song is slow, and the lyrics are awesome, and it's very uplifting. So if you're looking for some music, try out these artists. And I believe Taylor Swift has some really good songs, and they're fun and easy to follow as well. So singing is an awesome way and really fun to practice your pronunciation. The other one is learning the IPA, and that's the International Phonetic Alphabet. Now this one is not as fun, but is really effective and very good to help you with your pronunciation, because then you'll know how each sound is pronounced. And also when you come across a new word and you see the IPA, you'll know how to pronounce the sound. So this one is really effective, and it does require some time and patience. So, but yeah, it's one of the, I guess, the most effective and direct way to help you with your pronunciation. So these are the 10 tips I have. Let me know down in the comments, do you have a way that you use to practice pronunciation that you find to be very effective and useful? Please share it down in the comments with us. And also, if you enjoyed this video, find it useful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to English Valley Cafe for weekly videos, and tap on that bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. Bye.